19 years old. I was born in Houston, but I've been raised here in King of Prussia and around Norristown. I'm a senior entering Upper Marion. Since I was a young kid, my mom and dad worked a lot. I didn't get to see my dad a lot because he worked whole week except for the weekends. And that kind of gave me an example of how hard they're working just to give me this opportunity to live in this country, even when they came over. And how I have to make the best of that opportunity so that I can fulfill the expectations and do my best. Helping out my community mostly comes from my mother, who actually started coming here and introduced me to Educator. She began by helping out in classes. She never, even though she didn't go to high school, she's like, to me, she's like a really strong, independent woman. And seeing her help Educator like empowers me to want to help in my own manners. Even though I have a lot more resources and opportunities she does, she has always given me the example that I can help too. My mom and dad didn't graduate high school, so even getting there is like a big step towards what they want me to do. And I obviously plan on going to college. So doing that, I'm already getting far ahead of what they want me to, like they see in me. So I started coming to Educator 7 years ago, and I was like just starting middle school, and now I'm a senior. So obviously I've gone through that experience of being in many classes with many teachers. So that's where I pretty much got my inspiration. Seeing how they taught like students like me inspired me, since I know I could give just how they gave me that like learning experience I could give to others now that I was more growing up, and be able to like teach to younger kids, like elementary students, how they taught me as like middle school. 4 years ago I started my Recreate Play class, and that was a class geared towards elementary students who really didn't fit into the other miniature classes. And the point of that class was kind of like to help find those elementary students like their passion for reading, kind of like find books and crafts that they were interested in, not so much giving them books that I thought like they would be best for them, so that they could easily find like a passion for reading. So 2 years ago I had the opportunity to take a class at University of Pennsylvania, Democracy and I in America, and I got to learn alongside college students and other high schoolers by a certified professor, which was really, really good. At the end of the simulation, at the end of the class, I got to simulate the OAS, which is the Organization of American States, and kind of act out how they would solve problems in the real world. So how I mentioned that, how I got my passion for creating my own class was kind of seeing how the teachers were such good leaders, and that kind of like inspired me to become my own leader through my class. Mentoring students after homework. I kind of found a passion for like leadership and building upon that. Trying to become a model for those students, to look up to, so that when they grow up, they have like a model to base on. This being my senior year, I've started the college application process. I've been in the high school group at Educator for 4 years, and this is probably the most important. This is definitely the most important year. I go to high school group meetings on Fridays, and I have college prep on Wednesdays. I have college students like Christy Arango helping me, personally through the application process. Since my parents didn't really go through that, having someone who already did that is really helpful. Being a Educator has really opened my eyes to like human rights in general. I come from an undocumented family. Even though I was born here, my parents are undocumented. So seeing that, I got to really experience the differences between our opportunities. I have a lot of access to like resources and stuff that they don't, which kind of makes me sad, but that's how it is. And hopefully one day it'll all become equal. And in the meantime, I want to really help and do my part in achieving that. Human rights for immigrants, it's not currently it's really not a big deal, especially like in these times. With the whole pandemic and everything, you really like open your eyes and see how a lot of people don't have access to basic like health insurance and stuff that I do, but my parents wouldn't. And it's really scary because you have to be really careful. One accident can really be like a lot, like mean a lot, cost a lot of money that one may not have. Other things, such as like with the police, as like minorities are really like vulnerable to those types of situations, which just like shouldn't really be a thing. Going to university is definitely my future dream. Getting a career. My interest right now is international relations. I've got to visit schools like American and George Washington, and those are all definitely like top schools. Temple and other ones are also like schools that I'm interested in, mostly because of the majors they offer. I want to get to that. I want to get to the college level and reach the goal that my parents want me to, even though they couldn't. Yeah, international relations is currently my interest. Seeing how I participated in the OAS program at Penn, and I do model UN at school, and both those things have to do with that like area of career. And yeah, that's really my interest right now. And seeing people like meeting and like seeing people that like work in those areas that's like really inspiring. You know, I like the job that they do. So I guess like a word I like to give to people that are younger than me is that I made it this far, and there's no reason that like you can't. You know, it's like that you definitely have that opportunity, and you know, it's like I think you should really be striving to meet the expectations of your parents. You know, they give you this opportunity, and you can definitely like get it.
La señora, nadie la sabe cantar. La